Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Estrogen levels peaking. It's like she's in heat.
When are you gonna grow up, man? Chicks love cars. If you want to get into their pants, you better have a nice, hot Ferrari.
She's my hot Ferrari. Besides, I love my Mustang, which is a plug-in hybrid. It gets 100 mpg.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Out of my eyes!
Welcome to episode 20 of Schlock Talk, secretly worrying that is what's all up in there since 2013.
I'm Alan.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Joel.
We have Craig and Paul who are both trying to be quiet as fuck.
Okay, I'm Paul.
Trying to be polite.
Guys, I'm gonna do
y'all.
something totally different.
Is it
this
Freaky
episode.
Friday?
I'm
Have you
Craig.
guys swapped bodies?
Well, we did that earlier.
It was pretty awesome.
And by bodies, I mean fluids.
If only I could have been a fly on the wall in your guys' bedroom when Craig tried to mount your wife and make another baby.
He's actually the father of all my children because I'm not capable.
Not being born without a functional penis and all. Penis, not functional.
It's really more of a large clitoris, isn't it?
No, it's more like, you know, like you ever
Well, the
like...
doctor said it was a tail.
You remember Indiana
but it was
Jones?
in the wrong place.
Do you remember Indiana Jones where he stuffs a rock, Last Crusade, and stuffs a rock in the gun barrel of the tank and it explodes and it kind of flowers out and curls on itself? That's what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't know that.
Well, now
It's a
everyone does.
dictopus.
Secret's out.
So, Paul, you said you're going to do something different this episode?
Guys, I'm going to drink really hard during this episode.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would
How
be
is that
unusual.
different than any other time that you drank on previous episodes and we had to listen to your incoherent shit?
Poor Paul.
Still trying to blot out the memory of the last one where we don't know what the hell you were saying
So
75% of the time.
Well, when you guys hear what movie we're doing, you'll understand why I'm drinking hard.
Yeah, they'll turn this shit off immediately.
That's fair.
I feel bad, you guys, and I kind of address it a little bit here in my intro today.
You feel bad, so we're all getting free blowjobs?
You know what makes this intro
An additional
special?
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's additional one.
Is if you recall from the last episode where he started off with a major apology for all the shit we have to watch, this is going to be a repeat of the same fucking thing.
No, I don't think he's sorry. Because if you're sorry, you change your fucking behavior. If you are truly sorry about what you've done, you change.
Easy
Gabe
to
is
ask
not
for
changed!
forgiveness and to ask for permission.
Getting back to the free blowjobs. Can you not use chapstick this time? Because I want to live out my Tom Skerritt fantasy.
What does that mean?
Wait,
Mustache,
chapstick? Do you
right?
put chapstick on your pee-pee when he blows it? Is that what it is? So it moisturizes as you're working or whatever?
You ever seen that man's
Genius.
lips?
Tom Skerritt's.
Oh my god, you could like resurface floors with that.
He's got like the fucking shark scales on his fucking lips.
Oh, that's really
That are
gross.
just tiny little itty bitty teeth.
That's really grossing me out for some reason. All right.
Especially next to that mustache.
So it's more or less graduated to pure torture at this point. I watched the first 5 minutes of 1988's Evil Clutch, and based on that titular clutch, I decided we were watching the whole movie for Schlock Talk. What I didn't know was that most of Evil Clutch is not about clutching evilly, it's about walking. And let me assure you, it's the most boring walking there is. There's not any point to the walking. I guess technically it's hiking, but there's none of the excitement usually associated with tromping through the woods. You know, diarrhea, falling into ravines, Sasquatch, all the good stuff. And even more than that, as a film, Evil Clutch fails on almost every way possible. Sure, there's a nice juicy castration a few minutes in, but even that really only appeals to 20% of the Schlock Talk crew. Paul, I'm looking at you.
Hey, I didn't use the adjective juicy.
In conjunction with castration.
And presumably only about 4% of the actual Schlock Talk audience, which means roughly 25% of one of our listeners, thinks about peen pinching 12% of their waking hours. And I'll let somebody else figure out the math.
When you
on
said
that one.
listeners, you meant cast, right?
Yes.
For us.
No, Evil Clutch doesn't have any of the cool shit we've come to love here at Schlock Talk. There are no midgets aside from the Lilliputian IQs ultimately responsible for the movie. There's no Ebola, although we can all hope that director Andreas Marfori contracts it, as do all his descendants. There's really nothing to enjoy here.
I heard Obama gave it to them.
Thanks, Obama.
So Drake Malfoy directed this?
There's really nothing to enjoy here. Evil Clutch lacks even the slightest reference to an actual plot, comprehensible dialogue, or even basic characterization, much less kung fu battles, breakdancing, or even the inimitable tights pant name.
The inimitable?
The
What
inimitable.
the hell is that word?
The inimitable. Inimitable.
Five
It's an
times
actual
fast.
word.
Sure.
The inimitable pants tightening talents of Don Dunlap. Despite all of this, I still have a soft spot in my heart for Evil Clutch. Yes, I found myself succumbing to the charms of a movie that for everyone else is a large frothy glass of no thank you, good sir.
You like this?
Okay, look, this was a movie
It's a
for
Gabe movie.
This is a movie for pedometer enthusiasts who want to record how many steps someone took during the filming of this spectacular movie.
It has walking in the Italian countryside, so there's your audience right there.
Yes, the Italian countryside as seen through a very heavy set of sunglasses.
Yeah.
Because everything's fucking lit at night.
This would be a really good workout movie, like if you're on a Stairmaster.
This
It's
movie-
towards the end when shit finally happens.
Sort of.
That's when you might pick up your pace a little bit and actually get your heart pumping.
This movie's for people who has ever seen like a tennis shoe commercial and thought, you know what, we need 2 hours of this.
Yeah. Don't you mean a game of golf?
You see, about a third of the way into Evil Clutch, there's a human-faced cuckoo clock that spits blood for no reason.
Which was
And that's
pretty
the sort of
rad.
thing that can make a movie watchable for some people.
Some
AKA
people, Gabe.
Sure, those are the sort of people responsible for ethnic cleansing, hangnails, recumbent bicycling, child malnutrition, and Aerosmith, but come on! It's a blood-spitting cuckoo clock.
I know, that was pretty metal.
That was my favorite thing in the whole movie. And Joel, your girlfriend was watching this with us, and she just about died when that happened. It was awesome.
No,
In
it was
fact-
the movie that almost killed her, Gabe.
In fact, the fact that we came back here and she's actually still here after you left her with us to watch this movie says something about the quality of your relationship you cannot understand.
First of all, you left her alone with us.
Yeah.
Secondly,
So, Craig, Inimitable is so good or unusual as to be impossible to copy.
All right, you use that in conjunction with this movie, so obviously
No.
that's not the case.
No, I used it in conjunction with something that isn't in this movie, i.e., the pants tightening talents of Don Dunlap.
now how does she tighten your pants? Does she come over?
oh
and
my God.
Are you wearing sweatpants? And
It's
does she
true.
pull? She
True
pull the
erectile
drawstrings.
functionality.
It's the drawstrings on the sweatpants, right?
Yeah,
What
that's
happens?
what it is.
What
That's
happens
what it
is when you see a pretty girl, your genitalia gets engorged.
What's genitalia?
Your cock?
It's a penis that doesn't look like a banana peel.
Oh, you mean my banana flower?
So I'm bringing up pictures of Don Dunlap on my laptop now.
I'm bringing up pictures of my banana flower.
We're all going to be distracted.
That's the one I posted on Facebook.
Yeah, you keep
video.
on posting.
I have not
photos.
kept on posting. Okay, so anyway,
Yeah, right. Every time there's a new photo from Gabe on there, my wife goes, "Oh, is that another excuse for him to post titties?"
This is
Don Dunfap.
Oh, it's a GIF.
Is
It's a GIF. She's moving.
Oh wow.
Wow. We're going to pause the podcast recording so Gabe can use the bathroom.
This podcast is now turning into a circle jerk. We'll be back shortly.
Craig is going to describe this GIF to you in the voice of Gollum.
Yes. There's really not much to it. All right, so Evil Clutch is from 1988, directed by Andreas Morfori. And I
Malfoy.
don't think that he has any other credits, or very few. Anyway,
Andreas,
Is that
Mal,
the-
fuck you.
Is that the dad or the son?
huh?
The Malfoy.
Oh, I don't know. I would assume it would probably be the dad, because the son wouldn't have been alive in 1988.
Draco.
Yeah, Draco.
And so the movie opens up with like a kind of a photo montage. Do you guys remember this? It's
Yeah.
vacation pictures.
And the American exchange student or whatever is like fucking talking.
Yeah, they're talking about how much fun they're having on their trip, and of course this will soon change.
That's how you know it's a good movie, is when it starts with vacation slides.
Yes.
Oh God, I hope something happens to them so they don't have to listen to their stupid fucking shit again. Oh, remember when we fucking rode a boat through Venice, and remember when we ate spaghetti and meatballs? And like, I don't fucking give a shit about your trip to Italy.
Oh, that spaghetti and meatballs in Italy, it was so good.
And
you just can't get it like
and
that.
I know what
here in the
what you're
States.
thinking, right? You go to Italy, you think every guy would look like Super Mario, right? But they don't. It's a complete fucking stereotype.
I only saw one guy wearing overalls.
And
he didn't even have a mustache.
And just in case everybody needed to know, this is an Italian production, and during the credits, the overabundance of names ending in the letter I leads me to believe this film will be of the highest quality. In what is the first of many such scenes, there's a guy in a jumpsuit walking through a field carrying a stick. So obviously this is a movie about the class struggle and man's inhumanity to man.
I believe he was listed in the credits as jumpsuit man with a stick.
This is a trauma flick.
It was distributed in the States by Trauma, but
yeah.
Andreas Marfori, I'm looking him up here on IMDb, has 3 credits. A movie called Desperate Crimes, a movie called Perduta, and this, which is originally called The Forest.
Was the movie Desperate Crimes a documentary about this movie?
So did Lloyd Kaufman come up with Evil Clutch? Was he the one?
Yeah, totally.
And this thing cost approximately 500,000 Italian shit money.
Shillings.
Italian.
So the guy walking through the forest, the guy with the jumpsuit, his name is Fango, by the way. They don't ever say his name in the movie, but he's listed in the credits as Fango. He meets a woman in a church, and I want to point out that the Wikipedia entry for this movie describes her as voluptuous. Which leads me to believe...
Goody two shoes, goody two shoes.
That leads me to believe the article was written by someone involved in the small but robust group of sub-Saharan African famine victims / Italian horror bloggers.
AKA yourself.
What was this guy's story, though? Like, he had a fucking helicopter jumpsuit on. Like, was he a fucking downed pilot or something like that?
He was a Down syndrome pilot.
The plot summary also says climax of pure evil. That sounds like every time Gabe has sex.
Come on, no one climaxes when Gabe has sex.
Oh man!
I feel sorry for all those geriatrics.
And this is what I get. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting what I deserve for making everybody watch Evil Clutch. I understand. Keep it coming, guys.
You deserve so much worse.
So the jumpsuit guy goes into an old church or barn, and he meets this woman, and they start making out, and he nuzzles her voluptuous boobie, and she has some sort of insect crab claw and proceeds to rip his dick off.
It's not an insect, it's a raven's claw. coming out of
it's
her
one of
pussy.
those things that people use when they can't read shit on the shelves.
Well, that's the Evil Clutch, right? It's the crane machine crane that comes out of her hoo-ha.
Yeah.
But we don't understand that it comes out of her hoo-ha till later.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's pretty
okay,
obvious.
where did it come out of, Gabe? Like her fucking hand or something?
It's really not clear from the way that the shot is.
Yeah, the way the shot is, it just looks like it comes out of something. It doesn't look like it's specifically coming out of her.
The fucking ground, her fucking purse? What?
I want to do a video edit with this and like Toy Story with the little aliens.
A claw! A claw!
That would be great, Alan. You've got a job to do.
You know that Il Bosco translates to the forest?
Right.
Well, that's the bush that the claw has to come out of.
So anyway,
half-cup actress.
the claw, the Evil Clutch, comes out and rips his dick off. You're welcome, Paul. But it ruins.
Just so that you don't know, Paul has a special affinity to dick ripping off scenes.
It's a running theme for several of our
He misses
episodes.
Father's Day.
And it ruins this perfectly great jumpsuit. I felt really bad about that. And so,
It's like half the budget was that jumpsuit.
yeah,
The other half was...
the wagon wheel.
The wagon wheel. Another quarter of the budget was the cuckoo clock, and the last quarter was that retractable fishing rod.
So the couple on the trip from the credits are driving down a European highway, and they stop to make out for a bit in Snow White's woods. And someone nearby, the crab claw dick grabber, runs through the field in Evil Dead first-person mode. So this is why this is an Evil Dead ripoff, but it has like the first-person camera.
So are we supposed to like think this is like like pussy vision,
or something. Yeah.
So it's a cunt camera.
That would be interesting if she was flying through the woods vagina first.
Yeah. Like, put their legs all out.
Yeah, spread eagle. Using them like rudders and shit. From some weird plane from the 60s.
But wouldn't she get like stuck between trees?
It's like when the Millennium Falcon escaped out of that shit. They turned sideways so they could go through the
No, that's
opening.
crazy. I would love to see that, like in third person, and she's all fucking like dragging around on the ground by her hoo-ha, and it's like a fucking.
She's levitating off.
It's like a fucking
No, the claw is actually getting the ground and propelling her forward.
It looks like it's some fucked up Skyrim or Oblivion glitch or whatever. Like that. So where's the character animation for that walking?
The director's notes in the script were pussy perspective.
Yes.
Either that or blatantly rip off an entire scene from Evil Dead.
Yeah. One of those
Including
two
the
things.
music, the weird fucking noise in the background.
No.
Absolutely everything.
That's like the...
Yeah, I know, everything.
It's different because in Evil Dead it was like spirit eyes. In this one,
And
it's
Bruce
an actual
Campbell didn't have
real
a
pussy.
He didn't have a gotcha grabber coming out of his dick.
Gotcha grabber. Is that what it's called? Those old people grabby things?
I would know.
For picking up cat turds in the park.
So the voluptuous woman, and we find out her name. Well, we'll get to her name in a little bit.
Wait. Let's decide on something. Voluptuous woman. What cup size would you say she kind of manages?
It's never made very clear, and I don't want to know.
A.5? B-? I mean, is that cup size?
I like your.
It's probably some
scale.
European measurement. It's like in
A.5.
Yeah, she's like a 28A in the United States, but in Europe she's a 732.
Wow, she's a cargo plane.
Yeah, I was going to say, is she a jumbo jet now?
Yeah, because they use millimeters in Europe.
Yes. So she runs in front of the couple's car and she tells them that something back in the church killed someone, and the guy whose name is Tony. Tony is the boyfriend.
Oh, that's not stereotypical at all.
Hey, it's a Tony. He's gonna say.
Our next movie is about a guy from Earth named Steve.
That's not stereotypical at all.
There's a lot of guys.
So Tony gets out of the car, he goes to check it out, and he stands in the graveyard where he's Quake-style circle strafed for a good minute.
Yeah.
Before he walks back to the lady.
Like there's a fucking angry midget with a camera running around him really quickly.
It doesn't make any sense. And so Tony goes back to the girls, and he tells his girlfriend, and her name is Cindy, and the claw girl, whose name, according to IMDb, is Arva, which is presumably short for larva.
And I think you're making all this shit up because they just walked for an hour and a half.
And so the couple decides to take Arva back to the village, and while they're there, they're confronted by a motorcycle-riding steampunk scientist, who IMDb says is named Algernoon.
No, we named him properly.
Guys,
Algernoon.
I want to interrupt just right now so I can I plug something really fast?
He was Dr. Exposition, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was. That was terrible, too.
Really fast, I just want to get this out there. I'm starting a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I want to reshoot this film shot for shot.
Okay. That's all you got?
That's
all you need.
Really?
Although to be fair, you didn't feel it was shot darkly enough.
But we're gonna do it hardcore.
I'm gonna get a pair of aviator sunglasses and just put those over.
Well,
And we're gonna save money. We're not gonna spend any money on the lights.
I'm gonna put this out there. Me and Gabe are not gonna be in this movie because we can't walk that far.
That is true. That is true, Craig.
I'm also gonna use those panoramic cameras so that it's going to be more of an app, so you can like do the 360-degree thing through the whole film.
And the vagina through the forest flying scenes, we're gonna actually stick a camera into a woman's vagina.
We
for
should
that
put
scene.
some curtains on the other side of the camera so they're flapping.
Gray curtains.
And so Algernoon, who we call Dr. Exposition, or is it Dr. Exposition? Dr.
It was
Exposition.
Dr. Exposition because that was his whole point in the movie.
Yeah. He tells the couple that the village is haunted and that there are strange rituals performed there, although by who we will never know because we have now met every character in the movie.
Yes.
When I looked this up on IMDb, frequently you'll go in and you'll like look at the cast of a movie and it'll say click to see the full cast. You click it, that's it. There's only 6 people in this movie, maybe 5. Anyway, and so Dr. Exposition also tells the couple about some lovers, as he refers to them, that the man killed the woman and buried her in the sand, but she rises from the dead. You guys remember this?
I do. He was like, let me tell you a story, because he's like, I write novels, even though he's dressed like fucking Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, this is just after they were done walking.
They walked down.
Before they started walking again.
Yeah, exactly.
They walked down to the freaking rape murder ravine, all the way at the very fucking bottom, with maximum sound muffling, and he starts telling him this creepy fucking stoma story. Where, like, he's like, imagine you are walking down the beach and all of a sudden a demonic whatever force takes hold of you. And then, like, you know, it flashes through all these scenes. He's making out with her. And all of a sudden, I guess he gets in that rapey murder mood and freaking kills her ass. He's starting to bury her in the sand. But, like, he didn't actually do it. Like, I guess some fucking nosy teenagers were walking around and he, like... doesn't bury her body. He just like leaves it.
It doesn't make any sense. And I apologize. There are not 6 people in this movie. There are 5 people in this movie.
5.
Wow. The cameraman does not count as part of the cast.
What about her hooch?
That was the same cameraman. He got inside and was
operating the mechanical.
Because he's the midget that was running around him in the graveyard, and he can fit right into her because she's voluptuous, right? Anyway. And so he tells them the story about these 2 teenagers who are played by the same actors who play Tony and Cindy.
Yeah.
And so Tony, after he buries her in the sand, he goes back home and there's sand in his beer bottle and in his toothpaste.
His sink.
In the sink, the bathroom
I hate
faucet.
sand. It gets everywhere.
What does this mean? And then the woman he buried like jumps out of like a closet and attacks him with yellow mucus. And this seems perfectly reasonable to everyone in the movie.
Yeah,
and so... Anyway, did you have something you want to say, Craig?
No, I'm
okay.
Bitter about the fact that I watched this movie.
So back in the regular story, and I use the word regular with the absolute loosest terms possible. Back in the regular story,
Wait,
the couple...
Wow.
The real world?
Regular in the absolute loosest terms possible.
Yes. This term flew out. Yeah. This term is so loose, you can fit a midget inside his vagina.
The couple decides they've had enough of this, and they decide to leave town, but Arva watches them as they're leaving the town.
Yeah, but then they tell
hasn't
him
this
he's
girl
like
been asking to leave like for hours now?
Oh yeah.
She but I mean, they
bitching
leave,
the
they
whole
storm
time.
off, they're upset, like, that sounds like a horrible story. You're weird for writing that shit. They're basically fucking cutting down the fucking C-class Italian Stephen King, or whatever his name be, Stefan Kingy, or something like that.
Dr. Exposition.
Kingarelli. I don't know. Stephen Kingarelli.
So,
see the Fonz? I don't know.
Cindy and Tony get back in their Jeep and they drive to the woods because dark, impenetrable forest is always less creepy than a town. However, Dr. Exposition follows them and he tells them yet another story. This is commonly referred to as padding. This movie is like 80 minutes long.
Wait, are you talking about her bra?
No.
And Cindy tells Tony she's no longer in a good mood, so they decide to whistle a jaunty tune together that makes them feel better.
Do you whistle while you work, or whatever, from Snow White? Or Hi-Ho, that's right. They were whistling the Hi-Ho song.
That always makes me feel better.
Italians are so simple.
In fact, let's start whistling it right now.
They're just like fucking hobbits. Whenever they're sad, they just whistle a tune and then they're happy again.
Yeah, and they are hairy.
And for me, it takes a massive amount of drugs.
So the whistling then in turn causes a tree to fall over, nearly killing Cindy.
Even
but because
nature
this
wants
is the
this
movie
film to die.
Evil Clutch, it's unsuccessful in doing so. And so Cindy and Tony find a farmhouse in the woods.
Wait, before they do that, they walk.
They do walk away.
And then they walk some more.
Yes.
There's a lot of walking
more
around.
There was a lot of walking.
With backpacks in European countryside.
I actually challenged Gabe to record how much of the time in the movie was spent just walking, but he refused.
Well, getting back to my Kickstarter goals.
He always got tired. He'd like fucking start sweating and huffing and puffing during the walking
If we can get to $50, I'm going to get Christopher Walken.
He'll do it.
To walk.
In the movie?
Yes.
All right.
He's a
walking.
I'm walking. He could play the doctor. He could play Doc Brown or whatever.
Well, he's gonna play. He's gonna
for
play
$50,
the
what are you gonna
muff.
do? Gorilla cam the guy while he's like going down the street or something?
It kind of makes sense though, because on the IMDb page there is a credit listed as ambulation coordinator.
You lose your left foot, and then your right foot. Left foot.
That's the person who's
right
responsible for taking the cast to the hospital when they read the script.
That's the person who's going to bring me home
Don't
after
fuck
this
with me.
podcast.
I trained the cast from Jesus Christ Superstar. There was a lot of fucking walking. Jesus and his disciples, a lot of fucking walking, okay? It was like fucking Lord of the Rings, God style or whatever.
Moses didn't wander in the desert as long as these people walked in this movie.
Even Moses was like, at least we're not fucked up like this crew.
So Cindy and Tony, they find the farmhouse in the woods, and they run into Arva again. And she tells them a place they can all stay for the night. And also there's an Evil Dead camera following them in this part of the movie. And they can sense they're being watched because I think their retard sense is tingling.
Well, I don't think she douched, so I think they could smell her.
It all goes back to vaginal problems for you,
She's
Paul.
so scared, she douched herself to death.
So Arva tells Tony and Cindy that the house they're going to has a cellar, and then she explains that it's right in the ground.
And a fresh spring or whatever like that.
Which leads me to believe that Arva thinks she is a tour guide for Outward Bound for Mental Defectives. Arva takes Cindy and Tony to the penis-pinching church from earlier. Must be a Catholic church.
No, there's actually an actual church of penis pinching.
This is my body.
Oh, God. This is the body of Christ.
And Cindy decides to go outside and see the sunset, and Arva gives Tony some cocaine.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was some powdered Jesus.
She...
Listen. All right. When
your own.
No, when you eat
powdered Jesus.
When you eat Jesus, he only has a bioavailability of 60%. But when you snort Jesus, it's like an 87% bioavailability. Oh, no. Boom! Straight to your fucking brain with Jesus.
That explains the Pentecostals.
So they pull out the baking soda, which is...
They're injecting Jesus, which is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, she pulls out the cocaine.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Joel did this skit for our church when we were Christians. And he got yelled at. So we're doing this skit, and he's supposed to be a junkie, and he's like, "Oh, I need some Jesus," and he puts his finger on his arm, and he starts slapping his elbow. And he's like, "Oh, give me some Jesus in me," and he's like pretending he's injecting Jesus in his arm.
Was this
and
before or after they laid hands on you and prayed?
Before and after.
They laid hands on him a lot. That's
Maybe
right.
another podcast we'll talk about my actual exorcism. I'm not fucking joking. That'll be a good one for you guys to listen into a later future podcast.
Stay tuned.
So
I'm not joking. I went through an exorcism.
Oh no.
I'm not joking.
Have the demons left your body, son? Are you still possessed by the evil of the devil? Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Be saved. Be saved.
Craig, don't touch him. You'll put the evil back in him.
And the freaking...
I like putting the evil back in him. Let me tell you what.
He has to build it back up. He already put the evil in me earlier.
Yeah.
Oh.
I usually have to rest for at least 3 hours before putting the evil into someone else, and let's have little blue pills. Those help.
And during that exorcism, the catchet claw came out of Alan's ass and bit the fucking pastor's dick off.
That's what happens in exorcisms.
Oh, wow.
And so
they're sharing cocaine.
Arva gives Tony some cocaine, and then he drops some of the cocaine into a pot full of shit.
Yes,
and it bubbles onto his face.
I'm upset because he fucking didn't snort the coke off her gigantic D-sized tits.
Voluptuous tits. So he drops some of the cocaine into a pot full of shit, and it bubbles onto his face. And I'm pretty sure typing this sentence drove me insane because after doing so, I saw the thousand-eyed face of the Ancient One.
Cthulhu peering at you through all your voluminous shit.
And so while all this is happening, I always get the biggest kick out of making Alan laugh. It's always the best part. While this is happening, Cindy is outside and rubbing her hand on a rock. And Tony comes outside to find her, and she asks him...
I'm doing the same thing right now.
It's the only hard thing you can find.
She asks him about the brown smudge on his cheek, and he says something...
That's not shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
He says, something gotta be in the face. And then this causes them to burn the rock...
Tony.
This causes them to burn the rock with a torch, and the Ancient One now walks in the shadows of the human realm and feeds upon the sorrows of the fallen. Mortals shall know no succor. Because this movie makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. They burned a rock, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. He puts it on the rock, lights it on fire. Like, what the fuck is this all about?
I know, it's like the stupidest scene in a movie.
What the fuck is it? What do you mean? You take fucking boiling fucking feces and dump it on a rock and catch it on fire?
Listen, I want to advertise my second Kickstarter right now. It's a crane-up machine, but the controls are tits, and you touch the nipples. You like move the nipples around.
Yeah.
And it looks like a bony, burnt gotcha grabber.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of a hoo-ha at the top.
Just a spread pair of legs.
And all there
what
are
I need suggestions. What would the prizes be that you would
just
reach for?
Stuffed cock
Copies
and
of this film?
Yes.
Selfies of Gabe.
So Cindy and Tony decide to go back in the church, and they throw the poop bucket down into the cellar that's right in the ground. And then somewhere a
spring
zombie
water
appears.
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on because I didn't fucking see the spring.
Yeah.
But apparently the fucking corner of the fucking cellar, the dark fucking corner where nothing is there, was where the spring was.
Yeah.
And the fucking Titty McBiggins or whatever was like freaking out about it. Like,
Yeah.
no!
Don't pollute my spring water.
Turd
with your feces.
McTittersons.
And so by this time, Tony is starting to get sick, presumably because he had shit thrown in his face. And Cindy yells at Arva for some reason.
Well, we can tell they're Italian and not German at the very least.
Did anyone notice
Shice, Craig.
Did anyone notice the lack of hand gestures in this film?
No.
There weren't no hand gestures. I don't believe they were really in Italy.
Oh, I got you.
No
I got you.
Italians on that one.
And so there's a cuckoo clock on the wall, best part of the whole fucking movie. And it starts going crazy, and a human face pops out and spits out a stream of blood. And Tony
Skeets
says,
out
"No,
blood."
I'm scared."
Oh, no!
And Cindy tells him she's going to find some medicine. Some medicine for his shitty face.
Yes. Remember, they're in the middle of a forest.
AKA a bar of soap.
In a little cabin in the middle of the forest. They're nowhere near the car that got problematic when the tree fell. But she's gonna go get him some medicine.
I really like
she's
the
gonna find
idea.
some hillbilly cough syrup.
Yeah,
She's
I
gonna
really
find
like
a
the
farm.
idea that shitty face medicine is a bar of soap. So the movie has by this time dropped any pretense of sense or reason, and there are wagon wheels everywhere, and there's a demon in a room who breaks out and attacks them, but they tie him to the wagon wheel, which is apparently an Italian zombie safety station.
Yeah, wasn't it like
Zombie
this is like a
safety
wheel with chains wrapped
Yeah.
around it for no particular
They
reason?
tie him up, yep.
Yeah, well, the American pioneers, I don't know if you guys know this about our history.
Some of them got really fucking lost.
And so
They had to fight zombies too.
Made their way to the Italian countryside.
And I didn't. Somebody pointed this out while we were watching it, but that's the guy from the beginning of the movie with his dick.
Yeah, that was him.
Fango.
Yeah, the guy with the fucking shitty latex taped to his face.
So at
with
this,
zombie.
yeah, and so at this point, Tony
Is,
started
Maverick from Top Gun. From
started
the
to
beginning of the
become evil from the face shit.
Yeah.
And he tries to hump Cindy, but she runs away, and then he does a Tiger Woods fist pump.
Yeah.
And Arva appears again, and she and Tony make out for a little while.
Well, that's funny. They were going at it, and what was she saying? F
Craig?
me? It sounded like she was saying
I
F
think
me.
she was saying
F me.
Describe
F me.
Describe this drawing in Gollum voice. Alan
I
just
don't know
drew
if
a
I can
picture
do
of my
this in
Kickstarter.
Gollum.
Let's just post the picture of that up on the Facebook. Yeah.
Yes, we'll just put it on Facebook. We don't need the golden voice for this. I don't know how to describe that properly.
And so Arva appears again, and she and Tony make out for a little while. And Joel, you said she was saying like "F me." F
Yeah,
me.
they were like really getting into heavy petting, and he was like motorboating her little dingy boobs, and she was like, she started like going like "F me," and she would laugh, "F me."
You know, you had to be wearing some shit-colored glasses to find that woman attractive enough to bang, so I can see what happened there.
This then causes the zombie to escape from the wagon wheel. And so while all this is
Wait,
happening,
didn't having sex cause the zombie?
I
to
think so,
escape from
because that's
wagon
the
wheel?
sequence of scenes in the movie.
Was like the hip pounding so powerful that the vibrations loosened the chains, or how was that working?
It was her secretions.
Allowed him to slip the vines and get out there.
Oh God! So
It's called squirting.
Dr. Exposition makes another
It's a
appearance.
thing. They're not pissing. I trust me.
Thank you, Alan. The more you know.
Well, also that claw came out and picked the lock.
Dr. Exposition makes another appearance, and a tree comes to life, and then he confronts Arva. Dr. Exposition.
Yeah, he does. He's got an axe or whatever, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You have to die, witch."
And the
Still
crab
has his
claw.
fucking,
This
like,
is where we see the actual
Amelia
crab claw.
Earhart hat and goggles on too.
Right. Steampunk.
Yeah.
And the crab claw comes out from between her legs, and he chops it off with an axe. Right.
No, I think he missed, and he ended up hitting like the roots of the trees that came to life.
Well, see, that's part of my Kickstarter. It's a 2-player game. While you're grabbing for Gabe selfies, the second player controls a plastic axe, and you get to swing it at the cooch claw.
Oh, okay.
If any of you are wondering, Paul thinks this stuff up on the fly. He doesn't have to plot it out first to come up with shit like this.
No,
he's just pure brilliance.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's no notes in front of Paul right now.
If Billy Mays was sitting in this room right now, he would pull out a gun and shoot you in your stupid fucking face.
No, because
This
I have
level-
a beard.
This level of brilliance is all on the fly. It's
Yeah.
all impromptu. It's all beautiful.
This level of brilliance.
He's seriously freeballing in the fucking brain right now.
He doesn't have the wattage to light up a firefly going on.
So Arva kills Dr. Exposition, and then she goes after Tony and Cindy, even though she was just making out with him.
If she kills Dr. Exposition, how the fuck are we going to know what's going on?
He explained like 0% of the plot. Now I'm totally lost.
And just as Tony starts to seem like he's feeling better, the zombie, Fango, comes out, makes an appearance. He smashes his hands off with a rock.
Yeah, that's right.
Great. This is where I blacked out.
Hands out with a rock.
He does.
His whole hand came off. He had a stump.
Yeah,
It was-
2 stumps.
Yes, because
Sure,
rocks
hold his
work
hands.
like that.
Yes.
So this is the part of the film where they started walking again, right?
Yeah.
Did they stop?
And so Cindy's walking through the woods, more or less unaware of Tony's no hands situation.
And I like how you just fucking motorboat through that.
Now,
Cindy's walking through the woods. Fuck you.
I
They're
feel
all
bad
walking.
I feel bad for Tony because without his hand gestures, no one's gonna know what the fuck he's saying, even though he speaks the indigenous language of the country.
Yeah, but Larva is gonna love those stumps.
Help me! I don't get what you're saying. Help me!
So Tony pops out with the no hands, and she takes him back to the wagon wheel and decides to go find him some medicine again.
Yes, I can.
Some,
Get him,
some
get him
missing
no
hands medicine.
pills.
How did that go last?
I couldn't
not
find
enough soap.
medicine for the shit in your face, but I'll get you the no hands pills. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And so she's confronted by Fango the zombie again, and he has like a big scythe, right? Like a big.
When you say that,
Yeah,
I
she
think
goes
of
down
Fago,
in the
and I
cellar.
picture like a juggalo.
That's what I was thinking too.
Fango, whatever.
Yeah, she goes down into like the creepy basement or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Cellar.
fucking Goose or whatever
In the
is
ground.
fucking walking around
In the
down
ground.
there.
And the zombie finds No Hands Tony, who is apparently now a character from Goodfellas. No Hands Tony.
No hands.
That's
no.
Tony No Hands.
Hey, Tony No Hands. How
You
you
got no
doing?
hands.
Fuck you, Tony No Hands. I know you're flipping me off with your hands.
Piece of shit, no hands. Heaven, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know you got your phantom limb finger flipping me off.
And so he does he put Tony's head through the wagon wheel and then rip it off or something?
No, I thought he put Tony's head no, I think he did rip it off or something, and he got impaled on a spike or something like that.
Yeah, well, he did use the wagon wheel somehow because
That's right. Yeah, no, he put
Because
his,
they
he put
paid
his
a
head
lot
in the
for those
wagon
wagon
wheel,
wheels.
And
and he elbowed his head or did something. The wagon wheel basically cut his head clean off.
because we
Something like
paid
that.
for this prop,
Yeah.
and god damn it, we're using it.
It's a wagon wheel / guillotine. What
And
a
then he
combination.
holds his head up and licks
Yeah. The little.
Never reenact that again.
The skeets of corn syrup blood are
Listen.
coming out. Just licking them.
It did look like he was jerking off a giraffe.
Listeners, there's a reason this is not a video podcast, and it's called Gabe.
Sam pantomime scene for scene.
Yeah.
Evil Clutch.
He has a voice for rape voiceovers.
You got a good rapio voice.
Rapio.
C3 Rapio.
Oh shit! And so the zombie takes Tony's head, and he confronts Cindy with it, and then he puts the head on his conveniently located head hook back in the church.
Hey, churches are filled with us.
You forgot to trademark it at the end.
And then he gets Dr. Exposition's fishing pole and hooks Cindy on her fucking face.
Yes.
Okay, I need to add some head hooks to the Evil Clutch Machine Kickstarter.
That could be one of the prizes. Cindy then takes the fishing hook out of her face, and the sun is coming up through the window, and she used the mirror to kill the zombie, who again, I should mention his name is Fango, and then gets the conveniently located church chainsaw and kills Dr. Exposition, who is also a zombie at this point. And then the sun comes through the windows, and the zombie bodies melt.
Hence another Evil Dead ripoff.
Yeah. And also, Tony's head shoots blood.
You know how there's holy water?
Yeah, it does. It pops open.
It cuckoo clocks.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
And so a priest could bless gasoline, and it could be holy gasoline.
Yeah.
And then you could start a holy fire.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is right up there with the Kickstarter.
Gabe jokes.
That could go into the claw grabber machine. You could have holy gasoline, head hooks, Gabe selfies,
and brilliance.
Please send your messages to paulasalwayssober@gmail.com.
Cindy walks through the woods, and the Evil Dead camera follows her, and she just stops in the middle of a meadow. She's like crying or something, but she's walks for a while.
Hysterically.
Yes, walking is part of the movie indeed.
She's crying hysterically. She
If
just
she
saw
was
Paul's
in the-
dick.
if she was in the next room.
Okay, you know how they shoot out of order?
Mhm.
At this point, she just finished reading the script.
I'm doing this movie.
No, that's one way to method.
My career is ruined.
This bitch has the most annoying fucking screams, whines, whatever. Like, if she was in this house right now in the other room because presumably Gabe probably fucking raped her or something.
Oh my god.
Bawling her head off because of the shame and the horror she's feeling, I would go in there and tell her to shut the fuck up. Get over your shit, bitch. I don't want to listen to you cry anymore.
No, the reason why she's crying is because she's like, oh, I suck dick to get in this movie.
I don't care if you've been violated by a Gabe monster. Gabezilla.
Oh, man.
And remember, when Gabe fucks, no one climaxes.
Hi, Jeremy.
And so the last shot of the fucking movie.
As Gabe just ignores us.
We see that Arva.
Sorry.
Arva is lying next to a creek, and she comes to life, and the credits roll. And that's the end of the movie. You guys are welcome.
Arva looks like
so
Adamant Molly Ringwald or some shit like that with her fucking ridiculous fucking eyeshadow raccoon eyes.
I apologize, podcast listeners. The next 10 minutes of screaming is going to be Gabe getting punched in the face.
We actually have a Kickstarter going regarding punching Gabe in the face.
But stay tuned because after the screaming, you'll hear soft whimpering like a little bitch.
Oh my god.
For every $10
And that's
that you
me because I
donate,
climaxed.
we will punch Gabe in the face. In fact, we're going to donate $100 of our own right now.
We'll be rich.
If you donate $50, we'll punch Paul in the face every time he mentions a new Kickstarter that he wants to begin. That'll be good times.
I want to kickstart this idea. It's a website that kickstarts ideas. I hate you.
Wow.
I'm a Kickstarter.
Need a little funding.
Does anybody have any Schlock Talks do's and don'ts?
I saw several movies this weekend. I saw Transformers.
I saw it's better than the third one, okay? But that's just saying
Yeah, that's like
loose
saying, oh yeah,
stools
this
are better
lady
than
is
diarrhea. Okay,
That's
No.
saying that it's better than the second one.
No, that's saying like, thankfully, this time when the guy raped me, he didn't punch me in the face.
Yeah.
That's how much better Transformers 3 is than Transformers 2 and 1.
It's like being raped by Craig instead of Gabe. Sure, it's better, but not so much that you like it.
It's like it's still the same pain and experience, but it's not the obnoxious fucking person. And
Could I just give some fucking advice for the douchebags that write this shit? Can we have some fucking character development for the Transformers? There's no characters in these fucking robots. They're just machines with nothing.
They're fucking stereotypes of machines.
Exactly.
You
And
had
they're just
fucking
shit.
John Goodman is the fucking Vietnam fucking vet with flashback shit.
John
all that
Goodman's
crap.
in it?
Yeah.
He plays the fucking. He basically is channeling his character from Big Lebowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
They fucking just said, Big Lebowski, I liked you in that movie. Bring that to this fucking script. And so he's like this fucking like post-traumatic stress disorder Autobot Vietnam vet.
Exactly.
Does
They have the
Optimus
fucking
Prime try to take him bowling on the Shamus? Because that's not going to happen. He's going to turn that.
Does he
down.
No, but
Does
there's
he
this
destroy some
samurai
kid's car?
robot.
There's a samurai robot that's a fucking huge stereotype for Japan. It's like, we need to find a fucking Asian American actor who has a really bad stereotypical accent.
Also, the thing that pisses me off about the samurai robot is they made him in a fucking weird-ass robe thing. Why would a transformer transform
No.
into a robe?
The samurai wasn't in it. The limey fucking Autobot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
was
the
in
other,
fucking
yeah,
robe.
the other. But
And he
still, there was a
channeling-
robe.
He was channeling Jason Stratham or whatever.
Statham.
From freaking the Transporter movies. Yeah, and so it's just like you have. I don't know what it is, but the Autobots continue to be a rolling cast of stereotypes meant to offend every freaking culture on the face
Exactly,
of the
and there's
planet.
no character development. They're just a bunch of one-lining bullshit. I mean, it's just, if they actually had some dialogue and were able to do some acting as little robots like they did in the cartoons when we were younger, it would be awesome.
And
because
it's-
Bumblebee has a personality,
And it's
Optimus
funny-
Prime does. He's not just fucking exposition douchebag,
And you got Mark Wahlberg with a freaking hot daughter, and it's like there's no
Oh,
way
yeah.
he's not fucking his own daughter.
Wow! You went way farther than I was. I was just thinking that the addition of the daughter made everything cliche. So now
Yeah.
you have Mark Wahlberg and the douchebag,
Every
but really
every
good guy
Michael Bay
boyfriend.
movie must have its Megan Fox, one way or the other.
Oh, and speaking of Megan Fox, she's fucking up turtles. I haven't seen that one yet, so I won't even do that one. But Transformers 3 is a don't. I saw Lucy
Or
with my mother.
Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy.
Oh, with what's her face?
Yeah, it's
That's Luke Benson, right?
Luc Besson.
Sure.
so it's a French movie. And in the movie, Lucy says to her mother, "I remember everything. I can still taste your breast milk."
Did you look over at your mom and wink at that?
I was drunk as fuck, and so my mom immediately says, "You better not." And I was like, "I'm so emailing you later."
You better not what?
Send her a text or anything talking about breast milk.
Was
She's
it like
like,
an awkward movie from there on out?
No.
Was the popcorn in her lap and you didn't eat anymore?
Did you put your dick in the popcorn tub?
Yes.
That's a good practical joke for your
All these
parents.
are true.
Yes.
Did you secretly lean over so you could
Have fun doing
remember
it to your girlfriend? Try the parents.
But Lucy is a do if... No, it's a don't. It's fucking stupid.
Well, I mean, his last shit, the family was fucking toilet baby too.
Well, spoilers. There's this fucking scene where she's God? I don't know. Like, she turns into God. And then she goes back in time, and there's this 20 minutes of Nova footage, or like from scenes from Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos. And then she touches like the first ape and gives it intelligence, and then goes in back to the normal time to kill a bunch of people. It's like at the point where you become omniscient,
Yeah.
omniscient and omnipotent, aren't you just fucking like? Why would you go back to the future and punch people in the face? Like, doesn't make any sense. But it was just the whole movie was really weird, and they made it
This
out
is
to
in
seem like it
theaters?
was
This
like a
is not
version
movie
of.
that Schlock Talk listeners will ever see.
I like it when
They might.
Alan describes movies
It has what's
because
her face in it. She's
for all I know, this movie could make total sense.
What's
but
her
when he describes
character in the
it,
Avengers?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, it's like Black Widow 2. There are some cool excuse me, there is some cool CGI in this movie. She does this thing where she moves her hand to the side and everyone just collapses down. Like the stuff you see in the trailers.
And there were fucking
It is
Na'vi fucking fighting and riding pterodactyls
Speaking
through
of breast
the jungle.
milk, she's pregnant, right?
I don't know. But Lucy,
She's showing.
If you
she's
like
showing during Lucy.
If you like the special effects and you're not interested in the storyline, you'll like Lucy. And then I also saw.
Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
Gotta see that one.
Oh no, my due is a recommendation from Paul, which was Raid.
The Raid.
Raid 2?
The Raid, yeah.
Raid
no, I
is
haven't
good.
seen the Raid 2. I've just seen the Raid Redemption from 2011. It's a foreign film, but it's fucking fantastic.
It's basically the same plot as Dread.
Yeah, it is very similar to Dread. However, there's
Came
a
out before
5-minute.
Dread,
They leaked the script to Dread, and that's why they got it, and they made it before Dread was finished.
Did you guys see my Facebook post? They're remaking it with Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah.
What, the Raid?
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
They have Dread, they have the Raid, and now they're gonna fucking basically rip both of them off and
Right.
make an American one.
I would kind of like to see the 4-minute throat stabbing scene with Tyler Kitsch, though. I wonder if they would recreate that.
Did you see the remake of Old Boy?
No, I
With
heard it
Josh
was
Brolin?
horrible.
Yeah, it's just
And
like
I
I
hate
never
Spike
saw
Lee.
it. Yeah. I never saw it, but I was
It
just
wasn't
like, why
that
are they-
bad, but the original Old Boy is just fantastic.
Well, it's like, why remake these great foreign films?
It's like, let's remake
It's
E.T.
because
the
they're
Killer and
speaking
Dead or
some
Alive.
googly goo language that white people can't fucking understand.
White
we
people-
can't read
There's no way
subtitles,
white
I
people can
forgot.
relate to this. If it's not
Exactly.
Josh Brolin and George W. Bush isn't somewhere in it, they won't understand.
Josh Brolin's a good actor, and I thought he did a decent job. It's just the
The
movie
Goonies?
was way better in in its original form. It's fantastic.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy too. He's
Yeah,
Thanos.
he's Thanos.
Is he Thanos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He's only in
cool.
it for a couple minutes, but yeah. It was good. I thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good. I think a lot of people think it's really great. I just thought it was pretty good.
I would
You
like
know
to see
what?
that.
I was really pleased that James Gunn somehow managed to pull off a James Gunn movie.
That's good. Okay, I liked him. James Gunn is the director of Slither, and he also did a movie called Super. It's got Dwight from The Office.
Yeah.
Movie's fantastic. That's
Fucking
a do.
awesome movie.
Oh, it's got.
I own that movie because of you, Paul.
It's got
I know
Helen
that
Page
movie.
in it.
It's got
Or no.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. And
The
she's
eternally
fantastic.
16-year-old Ellen Page. Sorry, 12-year-old.
But she's awesome, though. She's like,
She's
let's
awesome.
fuck in our costumes.
Can the Crimson Bolt fuck Bolty?
All right. Is that everybody? Craig, you got anything?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I'm just
Don't
going to
let
toss this
Gabe
out there. I
live.
probably mentioned this before, but depending on when this gets released, Banshee Chapter is on Netflix. And if you haven't seen that yet, it's worth the watch.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so follow us on Facebook. Go to our website, schlocktalk.com. Follow us at Talking Schlock on Twitter. And email us at craigisnotracist@gmail.com.
Don't do
Just
drugs.
something.
If you have an STD, get checked out.
Yeah.
Ebola's outbreaking, so no sharing
Thanks,
needles.
Obama.
Clench your ass when Gabe comes running. Okay.
You knew that Muslim communist Marxist president was going to bring a bomb.